Welcome to Twisted Liquid RC Boats. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Twisted Liquid RC Boats. We're going to start today's video off by taking a walk down to the wharf. And we're going to have a quick look around. As you guys can tell, I'm living in the Great White North up here in Canada. And even on the 23rd of April, 2023, this is what you get. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And there is some water showing up. We got a couple of hydroplanes built sitting at home, waiting. And we got a lot of other boats sitting at home, waiting. So believe me, guys, when I tell you today, starting today's video, that this old man is having withdrawals from pulling the trigger with his finger, I am. But figuring another couple of weeks, you guys are actually going to start to see some run videos. Anyways, I had to give you an update. This is what's holding me up. Come on, spring. I'd like to take the time and dedicate this episode to my favorite YouTube builder out there, JJ Roto Geek. This one's for you. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Twisted Liquid RC Boats and our continuation in our Zippkits SLR missile Thunderboat build. Today, guys, in this episode, we're going to review the work on our Sponson decks, which, as you can see, is already done. And I'm going to review how we installed these two pieces of wood, our last two pieces, onto our hull of our boat. I would like to officially introduce all you guys to Miss Twisted Liquid. That's going to be the name that gets put on this boat. And as you can see, I have the work done with the boat to get it all into a clean woodworking state right at the moment. It's took a lot of sanding, it's took a lot of fitment, it's took a lot of effort, but I have to say, everyone challenged me telling me that this was hard work to do. And I'm going to say that it was a bit of precise work, but I'm going to say that it is not hard work. And the reason I'm going to say that is because for my entire career, guys, I've spent my life as a mechanic. And to me, hard work is lifting something that weighs more than you do. I don't consider sanding that piece of wood, trimming it and fitting it and epoxying it in place as hard work. I consider it as precise work, but I don't consider it as hard work. Some of the work I do, for example, yesterday I had to pick up a drum off of a dump truck. That drum off that dump truck weighs more than I do. So when I'm picking that up, it's physically exerting. I actually use a jack to move them. It makes life a lot easier on me. And it's still a lot of work. That's what I would call hard work. Having said that, guys, this is once again a job that is the same as what we done with our center decks and our top decks before in our last episode. We took the time to prepare all of our surface areas as well with sanding so that we would have good adhesion with our epoxy around all of our areas. We took the time to sand and bevel into shape our bulkheads and our forward non-trips to get a nice edge to fit our decks to our boat. We took the time to sand the inside edges around where our epoxy would sit on our sheeting. We had everything sealed really good with West Systems epoxy, a really nice coating on it. We proceeded to put flotation inside, which I'm going to show you guys as I'm talking through this episode. So guys, this was the same as everything, like I say, I've done before. I used M5 hydroplanes techniques of using 2 coats of epoxy all around the sheeting on this side Sponson deck. My first coat was just straight up epoxy so that it would soak into the wood. My second coat of epoxy that I put on had colloidal silica mixed in with it. This filler thickened the epoxy up enough so that the second coat sat on top of all the surface areas, and it was a perfect adhesion with the decks, no problem at all. Guys, I fluked into a little trick that I didn't realize can probably work for ye, and I'm going to mention to you while I was doing the decks on this boat. I ran out of epoxy after I had the first one done. I had to get to my local hobby shop in order to pick up more. So I proceeded to sand and trim and fit my deck to my boat. And I left it clamped to the boat overnight without it being epoxied, just doing a simple dry fit. When I went to install the deck the next day after I picked up more epoxy, I noticed that the wood had took a natural shape to the boat, and it was a lot easier to fit onto the boat. Here's the few things I noticed in doing these decks. You have 5 slots right here in the side of your boat which this deck is going to fit into. As you pull the wood down, making the second compound curve in it, the wood is going to want to pull itself in this way on this corner right here. You will end up trimming or sanding most of your material from this edge. You will find that you have to remove very little back here, and the main reason is the slots help keep it in the back of the boat right here. As you pull this down, I ran clamps simply all around this edge, and I used it between the bottom edge of the forward non-trip and the top of the side sheeting. Guys, the bulkheads were beveled down a lot to keep everything into a nice smooth natural curve, and the whole while I've been doing the decks on this boat, I tried to keep everything as uniform and even as I possibly could. I wanted to try and get a nice shape to this hull. Now this is the first time that I have ever laid 1/16 of an inch deck sheeting to a hull in my life. Is it perfect? It's probably not. But I have to say, in my opinion, the way the boat looks and the way everything has came out, I'm very happy with it. And I took the time to do as much detail and clean-up sanding as I could already, because when it do come time to put this boat into primer and paint, which it is getting done soon, I don't want to have a lot of body work to do. And the more I do now, and the better of a fitment I get on everything, and the better feel I get on everything, the nicer of a boat I'm going to have. I still have a little bit of sanding work to do around here, where I added some extra epoxy to stiffen up underneath these edges on both sides. But I have the whole bottom of this hull done, and I have the whole top of it done besides that. I took the time, guys, to install myself a nice little fuel fitting, which is going to run down to my gas tank in a little compartment right here in between my 2 bulkheads. This has been a very, very fun project to me, and I suggest that anyone who is interested in building this boat, take it on and conquer it. This is an enjoyable experience, and for a guy like me who loves radio controlled boating, I would highly recommend this kit to anyone. The next thing that I need to do is I need to purchase some parts for this boat. We basically need a drive shaft and a drive dog. We have our main stuffing tube here already. We are waiting for our local hobby shop to get the next brass tube, which is our stuffing box. Once we do get that, we're going to proceed with another episode, and we're going to show you how to set up the drive line in this boat. But I'm thinking that by that time I may have some of the bodywork and some of the paint on this boat, so the next time you see it, it may look different than what you notice right now. Guys, I loved doing this kit. I'm not going to lie to you. I really enjoyed it. I've watched guys build multiple of these boats, and I researched this and studied this very much before I took this project on. I spent as much time possible researching every Zippkits SLR missile build that has been done, that is available to see on the internet through a Google search, a YouTube search, a Facebook search. If it's built out there since 2017 when this boat was produced, I've seen it. And I used a lot of cues off what a lot of other builders have done, and I did use a lot of cues off of other builders on YouTube. You can learn a lot from doing something like this. And I'm going to build another boat coming up on this channel soon, and it's not going to be what you might expect. So, you got something to look forward to, because there is some stuff coming in the future. But my biggest point here is, don't let anyone intimidate you. I was told to be careful about doing the decks on this boat from day one. I was warned about it. As I said at the introduction, it's not hard work. It's just precise, tedious work, and it's fine woodworking fitment. You have to take your time and do it. That's all it is. It is not hard. And it can end up being a very enjoyable experience if you're willing to learn, which I find is the biggest thing about everybody in this hobby. We are all here to help and promote each other, and you need to learn from each other. Anyone who tries to intimidate anybody in any way, it really means very little to a grown man like me, because when I take a project on like this, these two working hands are going to finish it, and they're not going to stop till it's done. So guys, I'm not being rude to anyone, I'm not being arrogant to anyone. I lost one subscriber when I made a comment about the top decks not being hard to do in my last episode. And when that one subscriber left the channel, I actually laughed, because it's one of the guys who warned me about doing it. So I find that really, honestly, as a 55-year-old grown man, I find that very funny. Because that person was waiting to see me fail, not succeed. And I don't believe that that's the way we should treat this hobby. I believe that we should be there to promote each other, and I believe that we should be there to see each other succeed. So having said that, I'm going to thank Scott Myers, M5 Hydroplanes. I'm going to try and link your channel to this video, Scott. You were the inspiration for this boat getting built. I watched you build a lot of hydroplanes over the last couple years. I've envied the work you do. I admire your skill. I admire all of your precision. I admire everything about the way you work, sir. And you motivated me to build this boat. You do not know that, but you do probably now. And I took on this kit as my first boat kit, and there's going to be more coming on this channel for this guy to do. So Scott, I cannot say thank you enough. I know I probably say it too much, but I am honestly thanking you. You motivated me to do this. I hope Jackson Brown is doing good. Give him a bone for me. Anyways, guys, this is just a review video on this Sponson deck work. There's nothing difficult here. If you do conquer it, take your time and do it. Don't be intimidated by it. Follow simple procedures. Study what other guys have done. Learn from it. You'll only become a better boat builder. I'm proud of the work I got done. I hope you guys can see it. I hope you can appreciate the work I've got done over the last 3.5 months. And I didn't care if it took me a year to build this boat. I was going to do a good job on it because it's the way I wanted to build it. So guys, for 29 episodes, Twisted Liquid RC Boats has came on YouTube and said thank you to you guys. And I'm going to say it again today. Thank you for turning a little tiny YouTube channel with the passion of radio control boating in it into something good. And it's all because of two working hands. As soon as we get the rest of the parts for this boat, you're going to see it built. And the video started off showing you the wharf and the water conditions I got right now. I still have a little time before that pond is broke open. And when it is broke open and there's no ice on it, I've said this before in this video series, unless the dear Lord takes me off this earth before, you are going to see this boat running in water. And I promise you, no matter how much work it takes me, I'm going to make it run and work good. Thank you for your channel support. Thank you for all your views. Thank you for all your likes. Thank you for all your comments. I cannot say it enough. Everybody take care of yourself out there, and I want you to have a really good day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Take care and stay safe.